Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Well-being. Before we start session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's sessions. Before looking at today's commemorations, yesterday, due to paucity of time, we could not cover one important commemoration, that is International Day of the Girl Child. So, UNESCO International Day of Girl Child or International Day of the Girl, IDG in short, with the theme for 2022, Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. Up to 10 million girls will be at risk of child marriage. The profound effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are putting girls at higher risk of early marriage due to combination of economic shocks, school closures, and interruptions in reproductive health services. Almost half of the primary schools in NDCs lack single-sex toilets, an important factor in girls' attendance, and more than two-thirds are without electricity. And many of them are not with adequate water facility. Girls are primarily victims of sexual exploitation, and 72% of the detected girls victims, while boys are mainly subjected to forced labor, 66% of their detected boy victims. While more of boys are induced and subjected to forced labor, most of the girls are, primarily victims of sexual exploitation and sexual abuse, and often ends in sexual trafficking as well, prostitution and other trades. So the global internet user gender gap is also growing from 11% in 2013 to 17% in 2019. And the widest is the world's least developed countries at 43%. So globally, the percentage of females among science and technology, engineering and maths, which is in short known as STEM, Graduates is below 15% in over two-thirds of countries. So in 2022, we commemorate the 10th anniversary of the International Day of the Girl. In these last 10 years, there has been increased attention on issues that matter to the girls amongst governments, policymakers, and the general public, and more opportunities for girls to have their voices heard on the global stage. Yet, investments in girls' rights remain limited, and girls continue to confront a myriad of challenges to fulfilling their potential, made worse by concurrent crises of climate change, COVID-19, and humanitarian conflict. Girls around the world continue to face unprecedented challenges to their education, to their physical and mental wellness, and their protection needed for a life without violence. COVID 19 has worsened existing burdens on girls around the world and worn away important gains made over the last decade. With adversity, however, comes resourcefulness, creativity, tenacity, and resilience. The world's 600 million adolescent girls have shown time and time again that that given the skills and opportunities, they can be change makers, driving progress in their communities, building back stronger for all, including women, boys, and men. Girls are ready for a decade of acceleration forward. It is the time for us all to stand accountable with, and for girls to invest in a future that believes in their agency, leadership, and potential. And how do we get involved? Share human interest stories, blogs, videos of girl change makers, and inspiring networks and organizations that are resourcing girls, letting girls lead, and strengthening services for girls. And let's collectively amplify their leadership, actions, and impact to inspire others. Engage government officials, policymakers, and stakeholders to make more targeted investments that tackle inequalities experienced by girls, especially while accessing mental health and psychosocial support services in the face of conflict, forced migration, natural disasters, and the effects of climate change. Engage key female influencers across industries to be the face of change we want girls to see as possible. Role models speak a thousand words. Let's change the global conversation and public perception of girl leaders. Amplify your commitment to raising awareness about and addressing factors that hold girls in your country and region back. So, investing in pathways to employment for adolescent girls and young women in low and middle income countries. Nearly 1 in 4 girls aged 15 to 19 globally are not in education, employment, or training, compared to 1 in 10 boys. The analysis presented in this report lays 6 core investment themes and examples of investment opportunities and calls on commercial organizations and investors with an eye on social and economic impact to adopt bold investment approaches across these themes. The report is titled Investing in the Pathways of Employment for Adolescent Girls and Young Women in Low and Middle Income Countries. This can be downloaded from official United Nations website, or you can ping me on WhatsApp, or later on I can share the link for you. So, looking at the background, in 1995, at the World Conference on Women in Beijing, countries unanimously adopted the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, the most progressive blueprint ever for advancing the rights of not only women but girls. The Beijing Declaration is the first to specify call out girls' rights. On December 19, 2011, United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 66 by 170 to declare October 11 as the International Day of Girl Child. to recognize their rights, girls' rights, and unique challenges girls face across the world. The International Day of Girl Child focuses attention on the need to address the challenges girls face and to promote girls' empowerment and fulfillment of their rights. Adolescent girls have the right to a safe, educated, and healthy life, not only during these critical formative years, but also as they mature into women. If effectively supported during their adolescent years, girls have the potential to change the world, both as empowered girls of today and as tomorrow workers, mothers, entrepreneurs, mentors, household heads, and political leaders. An investment in realizing the power of adolescent girls upholds their rights today and promises a more equitable and prosperous future, one in which half of the humanity is an equal partner in solving the problems of climate change, political conflict, economic growth, disease prevention, and global sustainability. Girls are breaking boundaries and barriers posted by stereotypes and exclusion, including those directed at children with disabilities and those living in marginalized communities. As entrepreneurs, innovators, and initiators of global movements, girls are creating a world that is relevant for them and future generations. The 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, adopted by the world leaders in 2015, embody a roadmap for progress that is sustainable and leaves no one behind. Achieving gender equality and women's empowerment is integral to each one of 17 goals. By ensuring the rights of women and girls across the girls, we will get to justice and inclusion, economies that work for all, and sustaining our shared environment now and for future generations. And you know, in the entire world, recent report says Uganda is the first country in the world to achieve gender equality and gender empowerment, where every woman is equally empowered, and treated equally at par with men. Both are competing each other, and almost every woman at the ratio of 1:1, men and women. Uganda is the first country that has achieved this gender equality and gender empowerment. Subject to correction. Empowering girls and promoting gender equality is crucial to accelerating sustainable development, ending all forms of discrimination against women and girls is not only a basic human right, but it has a multiplier effect across all development areas. So let's watch a short video.
All aboard for global goals. Hello, it's me, Thomas. I've been on a big world adventure. I learned what an amazing place the world is and how important it is that we take care of it. Today, I want to talk about how girls and boys should be given the same chance. Some people think that girls can't do the same jobs as boys and treat girls as if they are weak. But I've seen that this isn't true. I've been on a world adventure and seen all sorts of engines and people doing different types of work. Gordon is one of the biggest and strongest engines on Sodor, but he's not the only one that can pull the express. Rebecca's just as big and strong as he is, and they're great friends. Mavis works at the quarry pulling cars of heavy stone. Paxton is really good at that too. On Sodor, Belle and Flynn work well together putting out fires. And I used to think I was the only #1 blue tank engine, until I met Hong Mei. If girls and boys aren't given the same opportunities, then they may not get the chance to do something they're good at. That's not fair. But when boys and girls work as equals, they could be the best they could be and do amazing things. See you next time. Visit allaboardforglobalgoals.com to learn more.
Women and girls represent half of the world's population and therefore also half of its potential. So gender equality, besides being a fundamental human right, is essential to achieve peaceful societies with full human potential and sustainable development. Moreover, it has been shown that empowering women spurs productivity and economic growth. So with this, we shall end the commemoration of yesterday. We have a lot of commemorations, but this is very important. No? In fact, we in the sense, the society in general undermine the power of girls and women. But girls and women are more efficient, more capable than men. We have seen many, research studies. Even they are more intelligent, they are more emotionally. Especially when we talk today, is the world for emotional intelligence rather than, intelligence, IQ, more than intellectual abilities. It's more of emotional intelligence because bouncing back the resilience and overcoming the adversity, facing the adversities, and bouncing back. Women are very good because they are very much capable and very much involved into family and relationships, and they are very much involved in taking care, and they are very much experienced dealing with all sorts of challenges, all sorts of people, circumstances, situations, and they are very well equipped. And if they are properly supported, again, it should go on hand in hand. With both the genders are, basically when we look at the philosophy also, where when we talk about the oldest Sanatana Dharma, where the Almighty has himself has manifested into male and female. There is no separate component as such, but Lord, to create a procreation, he has manifested himself into female and male. Both are part of him only or her only. There is no gender here. So that both manifestations, which are male and female, has started the procreation of the world, And that's why we all are part of one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So that's how the procreation started, and the human race flourished as per Sanatana Dharma. Though there are many other versions of it, I'm just giving you a simple glance how we all started, and there should be no discrimination. See, the only major discrimination, because we also have a dialogue, especially when we are talking about gender equality, gender empowerment, only one major difference, that is girls and women get pregnanted or impregnated. Other than that, there is no difference that, uh, that we can see why there is a discrimination, or why generally girls or women are not uh, allowed to be free, is only with the fear of getting them, when come into sexual contact or abuse, they can get pregnant. So that is the only what we see across the table, across the discussions, across the forums. Ultimately, when we come, what is the major difference that is pulling back is the only thing. That is why where we see why this gender equality or gender empowerment is not moving forward, is not because of men. I would say even many of the women say it's only because of the women. And unfortunately, women has become hindrance for the women empowerment and gender equality, because I am not discriminating. I am not in any other way trying to blame women, but because as a mother, woman has responsibility. See, as a mother, how you treat your daughter and son, you start differentiation, discrimination for there itself. So who is starting the discrimination? Woman. As a mother, she should not discriminate. Uh, she herself treats male child and female child differently. So the discrimination starts at birth. So mother should treat both of them equally, and both should be given exposure, and both should be given equal opportunities. Why anyone should be uh, restricted for their future potential or future prospectus? It Everyone should look at an equal opportunity where both are equally capable. In fact, girls and women are more capable. They can never be, they can actually, we cannot achieve gender equality, in fact, in reality, because women are more powerful, women are more capable, and they are multitaskers. So even if you want to achieve also, in reality you cannot achieve the gender equality, because when both men and women are started competing, then definitely women will outperform men. So how you will achieve gender equality? Again, there is this issue of, again, you cannot achieve gender equality. But we should understand one thing. See, feminine and masculine are both unique, like dark and white, like night and day. These are unique concepts, unique constructs where we need to appreciate. See, world has been God himself manifested as male, female, without no discrimination, but to always be together, not to compete with each other, and not to fight with each other, or not to try to replace with each other. So now both are manifested in such a way that both are dependent each other on each other. There is no that with only one, only just having a male population or just female population, there is no procreation, there is no further development. What they will do, that's the end of it. So we should never think, actually, the entire feminism movement, or this entire western concept came and take over And these family systems are today destroyed. Why we have more of single parent families or diverse families and nuclear families? Because women are unfortunately uh, uh, in quotes I can say, because they are being brainwashed with the wrong feminist concept, where entire world is paying, and today the entire world is also back of us in destroying family systems. And because of Western cultural influence, our greatest strength is family strength. Yes, but what needs to be changed? We need to value. There is a long term fight, if struggle. In fact, you know what women is, or girls or women are looking at is recognition for their work. They are not against doing household work, they are not against parenting, or they are not against taking up family responsibilities. What they are against is against discrimination of household chores, against discrimination that they don't have any value. That should be, uh, that we should, that is a social evil we should fight for. But entire gamut has changed, saying that, if men is drinking, women also has to drink. If men are smoking, then women also have to smoke. If men are engaged in prostitution or extramarital affairs or premarital affairs, now women also should involve in premarital affairs, extramarital affairs. And because of this, the competition has took a very wrong side. And today entire world is suffering. Especially men are not suffering because of this, women are suffering. Women have got into a wrong movement where they are more vulnerable. They have become more vulnerable. And today, who is suffering more? Women are getting divorced, or single parent, are becoming single parents, or having teenage pregnancies, teenage abortions. And ultimately, if we see the gamut of problems that world is facing, women are in fact have become more vulnerable with these feminist movements, which are not in the right direction. I would 100% support these feminist movements which have a right perspective. But with these wrong notions and wrong constructs which are taking forward, that nowadays even movies are portraying as if girls are drinking, and they are having one night stand, sleeping with every day one new person. So what is this actually happening? So who is at loss now? We should always think, girls are more matured, girls and women are more matured. You should, especially you are vulnerable, and media and certain organizations, certain individuals are exploiting you. You forget about whether it's a woman or man, but society is trying to exploit you. Society is trying to use you. So as a woman, as a girl, it's your responsibility. You have to take an informed decision whether, by engaging these all acts, whether you are becoming empowered or you are becoming more vulnerable, whether you are being supported, or whether you are being more used, abused, or subjected to more violence. Now you should not get carried away by this propaganda, by certain organizations or certain individuals, or carry away by the media. It is not that gender equality doesn't mean both, like you compete in drinking, you compete in smoking, you compete in prostitution, or you compete in extramarital affairs or premarital affairs, or this is not the competition which world is looking at. That is not at all a gender equality, that is not at all a gender empowerment. But how the media shows, how the society shows, portraying the today, every movie is almost, you can check, maybe we'll also come up, because we have a separate series also where we are going to analyze how movies are Earlier movies are golden movies where they gave a very good message to society. But nowadays, all movies are created only to destroy the, values, ethics, values, morals of the society. We can see, analyze, that will be an open debate. We can fight with each other. We can, argue with each other, everything. Soon that platform will open and we'll openly discuss what is happening with the movies, what is happening with the media, whether media is contributing or media is creating distraction, what kind of role media is playing. Media includes everything: social media, traditional media, electronic media, print media, films, drama, everything, art forms. As a whole, it's an umbrella term. And that is where, especially women are, brainwashed, or, they are, what I should say, I mean, they are taken up in a very wrong perspectives, where they are, pursued, or where they are, I'm not able to get that word, where, okay, I got struck with that word. Okay, anyway, so where, they are persuaded to in a wrong way. So I say, you even don't follow me, but what is more important is you whether agree with me or disagree with me, but you know it's your decision. You should think what is gender empowerment. You should think what is, gender equality. If you think that by competing in drinking, or by competing in smoking, or by competing in, engaging in sexual affairs, or, premarital affairs, or postmarital affairs, or extramarital affairs, if this is only called as gender empowerment, or is this called as, gender equality? You think yourself. Every man, every woman equally should think whether this is gender equality. What is gender equality? Gender equality is equal opportunities for education, equal opportunities for employment, equal opportunities for entrepreneurship, equal opportunities for, political empowerment, equal opportunities for excellence in profession, equal opportunities in reaching highest potentials. This is what gender equality is. This is what gender empowerment is, not what is shown in media and all this stupid nonsense. Many girls think that, nowadays I see when I interact with, especially teenage girls or school children or something, they say, gender equality is talking about periods openly. So of course, that is also, it's not actually gender equality or gender empowerment. It is, sensitization and desensitization aspect to certain thing. It is a common thing. There is a stigma and taboo attached. People think that now I can openly talk, so I have achieved gender equality. I have achieved gender empowerment. But is this gender equality? Is this gender empowerment? Or, so women empowerment? This is not. We are breaking the myths. We are busting the myths, and we are addressing the taboos and stigmas, and bringing on more awareness. So that shouldn't be, that we should not have a mere understanding of what, actually equality and empowerment is. Yes, that's fine. We should talk about everything, because earlier it was days where, there was joint families, and, there were systems to protect, safeguard the entire family, huge families, and hygienic aspects were there, and facilities were not there. And, we didn't even have this, earlier only cloth was used, where, maintaining hygiene was important. And that's why at that time, because times are changing and the technology is changing and the resources are changing nowadays, we have a lot of disinfectants, we have a lot of napkins, or, these lot of things have come which has changed the way we look at and, change the environment we live in. That's okay, fine. Even today, we can see lot of things are there still, social evils are there, which are existing in the society. We need to address them. We need to encourage them. Still, we can see many colleges does not provide, septic, these, what we call incinerators. We talk about gender empowerment, but how many colleges, women colleges today, I question openly in this platform, how many women colleges have these napkin dispensaries or sanitary pads dispensaries in college installed? And how many colleges have, these incinerators, which after using these, after to dispose these sanitary pads or, uh, to dispose them safely and hygienically, how many colleges have that? Especially you forget about co-education colleges. In women colleges, or especially in women university, how many colleges have? And they are almost entire, staff exceptionally dominated by women only. Then who is stopping you to insert? That is very much required. Na? When you talk, when you want to talk openly about everything, about periods, about everything, that is a very good welcome move. Then why you are not taking initiative? That's what we keep preaching, but we don't practice. That is what required. They are also fellow being like you. You are a professor, you are a caretaker, you are warden, but you don't understand that minimum common thing that you are going through and all the children, women or girls are going through. So can you not set a priority and, put a napkin, sanitary napkin dispenser, or cannot install an incinerator where, you can, after using those napkins, you can safely use that. So this is all very important nowadays. This is gender empowerment or gender equality should address the practical problems. And one more problem, basic problem, is water. We see, in many schools and colleges, where there are washrooms are also not there. See, that is also putting, because boys somehow go in open area, but how do girls go then? Especially, small girls are okay, fine to certain extent, but how will girls, adolescent girls, or girls who have matured, how do they change their pads? And where is where is the water, and where is certain spaces, private spaces or personal spaces for them? And that's where they get more vulnerable. They become more vulnerable. They don't have, and they get exposed to unwanted elements. They get exposed to even with their colleagues and other elements, where they become more vulnerable. So we should, even today we have everything, we are going to different planets, but what about our own planet? We are spending, billions and trillions of money, but how much, with the same amount, if you can spend, you leave it about Indian government, but entire world, how much is spending? How much you are drinking on alcohol one day? Entire world, how much is spending on alcohol? If we had a common sense, leave everything. Just if we have a common sense, just one day alcohol expenditure you put on this thing, entire schools will get an incinerator and napkin disposer, and along with the toilet, with the one, you can also have this. At least if you don't have that electricity, you can have this hand bore pump. Yes, bore well. This common sense is lacking in everyone. Even scientists also don't have this basic common sense, which common man asking. Today, I'm not asking here, because We also go to schools and create awareness programs. People ask me, oh, you are so much qualified, you are so much experienced, you talk about so much, sir. You talk about crores and crores of budget, but can you not just allot 1 lakh for each school? One day, if you donate these smoking cigarettes or entire world, the revenue which comes from smoking or revenue that comes from drinking, one day if you can spend, you can, you can provide toilets to all the schools in the world. But we are not interested. Why? Who will take responsibility? That is what we are doing. The society, the problem with the society is we want to blame. We don't want to take responsibility. We are just looking for someone to point out and blame. We just need someone to blame. That's all. Women, that's why I say many times, women, unfortunately, there is a saying also in Telugu, Adadaniki Adade Shatru. So, that सास बहू का झगड़ा हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, तेलुगु में भी, so हर लैंग्वेज में जैसा we see this, women have become themselves, enemies for women and girls. They should overcome this first thing. They should support their own gender. Na? Forget about male supporting. First, where is the unity among women itself? Or within the same gender itself? This is where the change has to come. And, when the same, the girl who grows up as wife, who grows up as a mother, who grows up as a mother-in-law, and the same girl or the same woman, how she behaves with other, daughter-in-law. Now, who has to change? Who has to be blamed? Whether, husband has to be blamed or father-in-law has to be blamed. Who has to be blamed? Now, who is the one who is creating problem? And today, no daughter-in-law is ready to stay with mother-in-law. Why? Now, forget that there is another gender, male gender existing in the planet. Now, where is the problem? Who is creating problem? When we talk about these certain things, I am not supporting, male or female, but what I am trying to tell you is, you see where the problem is. You find out solutions for that. It's not blaming someone. How long we'll keep blaming? Until all the, the last male gets, extinct from the planet. Even after that, we have something others. For that matter, males also, they also should try to understand, not discriminate. So I think gender empowerment or gender equality will be achieved only when women stops discriminating. The root cause is women only, which is, obstructing or causing hindrance to their own women or gender equality or gender discrimination or gender empowerment. First, women has to change themselves. Girls has to change themselves. They have to treat their own daughter-in-laws as equally as them. And, mother has to teach. Mother should not discriminate among a male child and female child. Then definitely mother, as a mother, she should teach equally both the male child and female child to respect each other and to respect irrespective of gender, appreciate gender differences also. It's not woman, as a girl, she has her own, set of biological requirements or physical requirements. And as a male, they have their own certain requirements. So we should appreciate. It's not that you give same clothes for them. They also wear these trousers. I'm not discriminating. Of course, it's up to you. Whatever you want, you like, as long as we all are decent and we do not look awkward or do not expose ourselves, or as long as we are civilized and cultured and we cover. Basically, clothes are there. Why we need to wear clothes? The basic concept of wearing clothes is to protect our body, protect our skin from temperature, from dust, from external insects or objects. That is the purpose of wearing the clothes. That's how the clothes concept has come. It's like a skin, you know. But again, what kind of clothes we are wearing and what purpose it is serving. So these things happen, when you don't understand what is the purpose of doing that and simply blindly following that, then you will not understand the purpose. You will think that clothing is a fashion thing. It's not a fashion thing. Of course, it's a fashionable thing. The way you drape or the way you wear, that's a different thing. But the basic purpose for clothing is to cover, protect our body from heat, cold, from light, or from insects and dust and other things. So as long as we understand that concept, whatever you wear, it doesn't matter. You wear either minis, micros, or whether you wear full sari or full dhoti, full trouser, or short. It doesn't matter. Why you have to discriminate? See, again, the problem is with us only. We start discriminating. He has worn full length trouser, or she has worn, minis or micros or saris. She's old cultured, or she is, old. Why we have to say? See, as long as they are comfortable, they will wear whatever they want. Because basic purpose of clothing is to cover their body. They are covering it. And why you have to, discriminate or pass on comments or abuse or bully them? If there is no requirement, you walk naked also. No problem. If you don't think. But even walking naked, almost it is, people are nowadays walking naked. Except we can see hardly anything is covered on the body. Now, there are people also who, if they want to, they don't need also that tomorrow that will also come. There are many countries that allow them to, move around naked also. Nowadays, people are moving towards these earlier only Homo sapiens, where they, at least they wore some, what leaves, they use some leaves to cover. Now the cycle, that's what, karmic cycle or our cycle, it goes round and round. Now people are also, they learned how to wear big robes and all those things, saris and other drapes, and these kings and all, they were wearing everything covering whole body. Now we are again moving to Homo sapiens, where they had nothing, just were draping some leaves, or even not that. So this is what cycle is. Now we are moving towards, naked, no need of clothes also now. So where we are going, we don't know, unfortunately. And, we cannot even justify also certain things. So basically the point is, as long as clothes are serving your purpose, no matter what it is, we should always, should not discriminate, basically. So we should not discriminate, and that discrimination should stop from the mother itself, because father doesn't stay with the children. Again, I am not saying why only mother has to take responsibilities. Mother is the one who is very close to children, because she's taking care. So she should ensure that nowadays even mothers are also working. So even they are left to the daycare centers or crèches, and there is no one to teach. That's why nowadays more gender discrimination is happening, because from early days only, abuse is happening, bullying happening, and people don't value ethics or morals or values because they don't know. They don't even practice also. No one to teach at that early child. In fact, we should come up with some thing where women should be, given at least 3 years once she gets, pregnant. Then there should be some pension scheme where, she should be provided a free salary for three years or so until the child, is capable of moving out to schools, or in some way, or we need to have an alternative arrangement where, a government has to start, like Anganwadis are there, ICDS centers are there, where they should be empowered, enriched. In fact, they also work with various, very limited infrastructure, very limited. Anganwadi workers are also not full-time workers, and they are also not paid adequately. They do a lot of work. And many times we have seen they are also representing. They can be, adequately empowered, and they can take up various, socio-economical, cultural, and aspects of taking up and bringing up children with ethics, values, and morals. So all these aspects are very important. We cannot blame anyone in this world. If we have to blame someone, then it is we ourselves. Unless and until we change, nothing is going to change. We can keep blaming one or other only. That's a defense mechanism. No, everyone knows about it who is in mental health, or who has studied psychology or social work. These all are defense mechanisms. We try to protect ourselves, by denying or displacing our responsibility or accountability to some others and someone else. We are just looking for an opportunity to blame someone for our, inability or our disability or our inefficiency or our negligence. We are just keeping pointing out. So as an, mother, I think the gender equality or gender empowerment should start, or we should put an end to gender discrimination. It should start with women only, and it should end with also women only. So there should be an initiative from there that women starts treating both the girl and boy child equally, and providing equal opportunities irrespective of gender, and providing equal opportunities of education, employment, entrepreneurship, and various other opportunities where they can excel and reach their potentials. That should be there, and that will only help to achieve this gender equality and gender empowerment. At the same time, now, having said that, okay, women's part is done. Now, what male has to do? The male counterpart is that they have to support. They, we have seen many women, as we say, there is a common saying that behind every man's success, there is a woman. In the same way, behind every woman's success, there is also a man who supported her. He may be a father, he may be, husband, or he may be a brother or someone like similar way. So it is equally important whether it is male or female. Both the genders should support each other. Then only the success of that couple, or that empowerment should go hand in hand. Otherwise, as long as, we compete with each other like rat and mouse, cat and mouse, so we will always keep fighting with each other. but we'll not going to achieve. Lot of conflicts keep coming, and we'll be, backstabbing each other and whatnot, and both will be destroying each other. See now what is happening. Women are equally drinking now. They are outnumbering men in drinking, smoking, in sexual activities. And they even crimes also we see. Women are engaging in extramarital affairs and killing their husbands. These also have, we are recently seeing the trend is also increasing. They are coming together, they with their extramarital, with their lovers, or and they are killing husbands. And this is an increasing trend, alarming increasing trend, unfortunately. And of course, both sides it is happening. But why this new trend? We need to understand. That's why family systems are very important. We are not seeing, we are not able to realize what harm is being done. That's why it's very important the first 5 years of a child. First 3 years from conception, it is very important to mother be with the child, teach him everything, teach her everything. That is a very crucial year. First 1,000 days we say, and we have 1,000 days program also by various governments. Even in here, we have doctors are emphasizing on first 1,000 days. Why? It is very much important for child, for everything, for overall development. So that is very much important. Without that, no matter what we say, when desert, I'm unable to recollect. There is a saying where it goes like, I will let you know by the end of the session. Like in Telugu, they say, Mokkai Vongandi Manai Vongutunda. See? So, like, there is some English also, English idiom also, like similar that. So, whatever should come now, that culture or traditions or morals, ethics, values, they should be inculcated at the early ages. Then only they will follow for the entire lifetime. They will understand. So if it is at a later stage, it is very difficult for the people, for the children, to imbibe them, inculcate them, and practice them. So it is very important. You leave earning and all other than all are there, unless and until you earlier, at least we had someone in joint families. We have grandparents to take care of the children who were teaching, what is what, and they were learning about social interactions and how to interact with people, and they were learning. And we used to have, earlier homes, we used to have a lot of animals, especially cattle, like cows. Cows are most are the most affectionate animals on earth. But today cows are become the most politically abused animals. They are being killed, they are being for whatnot. They have been a center also at many times for religious and communal conflicts also. See what is certain people, certain organizations are against, always looking for an opportunities to create unrest, or to create violence or hatred, to spread hatred. we should not get into that trap or propaganda. We should not make ourselves victims in this process. And so we have to be very careful. Earlier, there was a lot of opportunities for the child to interact, express, learn. But now we are preoccupied with gadgets and there is no proper socialization and there is no expression of feelings or emotions and reciprocation. How will child learn? Will the gadgets will recommunicate with the child? Will the gadgets teach them? That's why at least now pets are also pets are very important now because there are no human beings. With this nuclear families, at least we should have some pets so that children learn the socialization with pets. Again, that is a problem again. Pets also need to be trained, and if they are not well trained, then the babies will pick up the inappropriate or undesired behaviors. Otherwise, the baby can teach, spoil the pet also. Many times we have seen, because I am also an animal activist. I am also, I have academic as well as, field this thing in animal welfare. So we have to be very careful, especially what people are doing with animals and what animal is doing with the people or the companions. Sometimes either way it happens, pet keeps learning from people and people keep learning from pets. And sometimes if that interaction doesn't go well and it is not monitored and corrected and intervened in appropriate time, then, we have seen certain behaviors where, they both can get spoiled each other and, they can develop some psychotic and neurotic conditions, both pet as well as, that child or adult also. So we have to be very careful because like a human being, it is also having emotions, feelings. It is also having jealousy, hatred, anger. And, pets are generally, especially dogs, because dogs and cats are most commonly pets, kept pets. And, and other pets are like fishes. They are a little bit safe because they are enclosed in enclosures like aquariums. So, though we can enjoy, we can have time, and even fishes are also smart enough to respond. They recognize, their people in the household, and they also interact with them. So it will help an opportunity. It will provide an opportunity for the children, to relax and to interact, to express our emotions. There are certain species of fishes, they can safely can be used as a pets. So similarly, we have to see, because dogs, especially when you are having dogs, then they have a lot of energy. The common problem when we see, especially with the pets, especially with the dogs, they have a lot of energy. If they are not provided an opportunity to vent, how do they vent their energy? Is through walking or running only. You should at least provide space, or even if you are not able to provide, at least even you don't have any, you cannot take it outside, or you should take it onto the terrace, open terrace where there are no obstructions, and you have to set the dog free for at least half an hour or 1 hour, and it will run like anything. You can see it will run it like a mad person or a mad dog, because it also needs venting of that energy. They are highly energetic species. And if they are not provided, what they will do? They will come inside, they will start troubling you, they will start pulling, they will start chewing everything, furniture, everything. And because they want to, spend their energy. So, and they get very aggressive also. So all these are very important. Like as mental health of human beings are equally important as mental health of pets also. And most often these pets are being abused. They are not being taken care because they go in the morning and they come, no one to look after. Children are busy, either they are in school or they are in tuitions, and pet is lying alone from since morning to evening, and after coming down they don't have time for themselves, and they just feed. And we have seen certain homes where they put feeders, automatic feeders, and it just keep dispensing. And certain times there is no control over it. Pet herself takes care, or himself take care of all his, uh, you know but we should be very careful. It's not a response, when you are bringing a pet, it is as equal as bringing one family member. You cannot just bring something and keep it, and you don't care. That is most kind of abuse that is happening is to animals is through pets only. Because you bring them and you neglect them, you don't spend time with them. And especially when you are choosing pets, you should be very careful in what kinds of pets we are choosing. Certain pets like fishes, okay, whether you give time or doesn't give time, okay, they are there. As long as they are being cared, they are maintained, they are well, they also provide. Whenever you want, you can go, you can engage someone for maintenance once in 15 days or once in a month. You can get it maintained, because that doesn't require day-to-day maintenance except for feeding. And there are automatic feeders which also serve the feed in a timely fashion manner. And there are various things like IoTs are also there today, where it will sense. There are sensors where you can keep in aquariums, where it will give all the data to your mobile, like salinity, purity of water, that color, taste, everything. It can just give you alerts also in your mobile when your aquarium gets, have to get clean, or when your pets needs, they are hungry, their movement, everything can be there. See, technology is there. How you use technology is very much important. Whether we use it for good thing or whether we use it for bad things. This is all very important, especially when we are talking about sustainable development. It's not just human beings, it's also the pets, it's also the nature, it's also the environment. Today, we are not willing to plant a tree, but we want to park ourselves, we want to sit under a tree. But without trees, without planting a tree, we are cutting down every tree possible, every plant possible in our localities, even in houses also. Rarely we find a tree. And we keep most of these ornamental trees. Nowadays, it is highly fashioned. I see most of them, wherever I go, I see these ornament plants. They are just ornaments, that's all. They are not even a plant also, for that matter. So they are plants, but still they don't serve any purpose. No, of course they serve. That doesn't mean that they do not, but the percentage of the purpose is very less. The contribution, what I would say. So have some healthy, positive plants, like have some tulsi where you can keep at the windows because it needs some sunlight daily for some point of time. Have some very good plants, medicinal plants, instead of having these ornamental plants, which needs a lot of maintenance again, and they do not serve any purpose. Tulsi, if you have tulsi plant, that is very good for your health and for your environment, for your ambience. You can just grab one, uh, you know, tulsi leaf and eat daily, and that will boost your immunity. And there are various other herbal or medicinal plants where can be grown indoors, though we say indoors, but definitely they need some sun rays. So you can put it in balcony, or you can just keep them in a movable tray where you can just wherever there is some sun rays or rays falling, sunshade, you can keep it for some time. Or there is also an alternative. We have UV lamps. We have these for aquariums also. UV lamps are there. In that we get a UVA lamp, and UVB lamps also are there, where you don't get any sunlight, because nowadays in most apartment culture, and we live in these pod kind of houses, very unless and until some are very fortunate to have these independent houses, but otherwise, closed flats, and where you don't get even sun rays, you don't even get to see the sun there. These UV lamps are, again, they also cause pollution, but at the same time, these all things are very much important to build up the ambience. But always we should ensure that there is adequate natural lighting, natural air, and air circulation is there, ventilation is there. That will help us, keep the ambience and keep us fresh. So with this, we can achieve sustainable development. And we will move on to today's commemorations. This was yesterday's. We little bit diverted. But these are all crucial. Why we are talking about pets also? Because especially for girls and women who are staying indoors, for them also this is a very good opportunity. And now with this online entrepreneurship opportunities, where people can work from home, they can contribute from home, like even they can engage in the productive work. And most of the, many times we see people spending watching YouTube videos morning to evening, or watching these serials or soaps, what we call, and wasting a lot of time. There is no productivity itself in them. And these serials, thanks to these producers, they are the real culprits, spoiling these relationships. I don't know what single benefit any serial has. I never watched them, though no, only those who watch should be persons, they should comment, because I do not watch, so I cannot comment. But wherever I got opportunity to watch, because some people said it is a very good serial, and for me it turned out to be a trash. So there are no values. See, the media, entire media, because entire media, one simple thing I will tell you, being a media person also, entire media is controlled by 6 media corporations. You can just Google it, you will get it. Entire media in the world is controlled by those 6 media conglomerations, media giants. So only what they want, that only will come on this entire world media. They have their own agenda, they have their own this thing to promote, and they will only promote that only. So whatever you watch, whichever channel you watch, it is what they wanted to show you. That's all. You don't have any choice. Only choice you have is whether you want to watch or you don't want to watch. That's all. You don't have much choice. So not watching is a better choice. or watching those which are really good programs is a choice. Now it's up to you how you use your time, how you spend your time, whether watching some stupid programs, nonsense programs, or otherwise you can watch a very good programs. Now EduSat channels has come, and certain channels like based on nature, National Geographic, Discovery, Animal Planet, or science channels has come, space related, or even religious channels are there. Lot of these, like SBBC, and lot of channels are there, where even spiritual channels also, where you get to learn about our own cultures and traditions, rituals, practices, and it's up to you. Of course, I am not here to uh, discriminate or judge which channel is best or which program is best. But what I am trying to say is, we as an individual are the best ones to judge, to follow what is required, and how best is our time to be utilized. It's, as I said, no one is busy. It's all about priorities. If I think this is important, I will do. If I don't think that it is important, I will leave it off. That's all. There is nothing like busy in this world. No, we say busy, 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 busy. What busy? That is not priority. You say that this is not my priority. That's all. It is an unsaid that it is not your priority. If it is your priority, no matter what, how much busy, you will take it up. If it is not priority, no matter how much time you have, you will not take it up. You will take up some other thing, but you will not take up this thing. So it's all about priorities, not having no time or resources. All are secondary. First thing is, you set priority. If you want it to do, you will do it. If you don't think that it's not priority, then you will never do it, or you will not do it. One more important yesterday's commemoration is Peyronie's Disease Awareness Day. This Peyronie's Disease Awareness Day is to draw, attention to the symptoms, causes, and treatment course for Peyronie's disease. Roughly 1 in 11 men struggle with Peyronie's disease in their lifetimes, so causing scar tissue buildup on a penis, resulting in an enhanced curvature of the organ. So there is a lot of stigma associated. See, earlier also we discussed, especially when engaging in a lot of sexual activities, or for sexual and reproductive health, even when engaging in masturbation and all other things, there is a lot of damage or rupture that happens, or to private parts, and often that is a stigma. We do not approach most of the population. Generally, they do not actively approach medical or health professionals. So similarly, certain things are to be taken extra cautiously, and this is also one such kind, where the scar tissue gets built up on the penis, and resulting in an enhanced curvature of the organ. And because of this stigma, shame, and discomfort surrounding the victims of the disease, who often choose not to disclose their condition. So especially these things are not being discussed or not being approached for medical or health treatments. So the day brings attention to the early symptoms of these diseases and arms with the information and condition. So Peyronie's disease is a fairly common medical condition that results in an enhanced curvature of the penis due to scar tissue buildup inside the organ, and it is an embarrassing condition that man refrain from sharing in public. Although penises aren't supposed to be perfectly straight, a larger than usual bend can be cause of worry. This normally happens due to plaque buildup caused by scar tissue and is called Peyronie's disease. So this curve is noticeable when the penis erect and can lead to sexual difficulties and pain erections. And significant tissue scarring, reddening, a bend in the penis, shortening of the penis, and persistent pain are some of the symptoms of Peyronie's disease. It takes about 3 to 12 months post the onset of the symptoms for the disease to become chronic. So getting the right treatment within that window can drastically reduce the chances of developing serious issues, including erectile dysfunction. So the cause of Peyronie's diseases is still unknown, although studies have confirmed that most cases of Peyronie's disease occur due to repeated physical trauma to the penis. So strides are being made towards treatment course of the disease, including oral and surgical plans that minimize pain. Since this holiday was established in 2018, this day, encouraging facts about diseases have emerged, including numerous treatment courses for the disease early and onset stages. Patients are now presented with options such as injection therapy, penile traction procedure, and oral medication to tame or eliminate the condition. So when we look at the historical concepts, the Western context, so the first curve anatomist Garbili Fallopio and Andreas Vesalius mentioned the condition of a curved penis in a conversation in 1561, and the disease is named in 1743. The French surgeon Francois Pigot de la Peyronie describes the condition and names it as Peyronie's disease. On his name, he named the disease as Peyronie's disease. And in 2013, the cure was developed and the FDA approves the dosage of collagenase for Clostridium histolyticum to break down excess collagen in the penis. And in 2008, the erectile dysfunction therapeutic entity Gainswave announces a treatment for Peyronie's disease and declares October 11th as National Peyronie's Disease Awareness Day. And yes, it can be cured through stretch therapy, oral medication, and minor surgeries are some of the important ways through which Peyronie's disease is addressed. And as we already seen, we don't know the causes are still not yet identified, but some of the leading factors that contribute to the conditions are repeated injuries to the penis during intimacy or athletics or due to masturbation or any sexual activities. Or Peyronie's disease is also a permanent condition. However, the curvature of the penis can be decreased through medication and therapy. That's why it is very important to get identified at the early stage so that the extent of damage can be minimized. So as we still don't know the cause, so there are different factors that contribute. So let's all spread this information and know about the healing regimen of an injured penis and share resources regarding symptoms and early age treatment plans for disease. Encourage discourse. So there are disastrous consequences of shame and stigma that surround penile issues. So lack of first-hand testimonies and information regarding treatment makes the disease a top concern for men. So on this day, encourage healthy discussions regarding the symptoms and treatments of the disease and support the patients. They can cause intense emotional duress and stress to patients. They need our help during the course of their treatment, and they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And there are many treatment options as discussed as oral medication, traction therapy, stretch therapy, and surgery available for patients. And early diagnosis and quick treatment increase your chances of a full recovery exponentially. And most patients regain sexual function such as ejaculation and erection after treatment and therapy. And roughly, it is 1 in 11 women of all ages, men of all ages experience this disease. And the therapies and surgeries are diverse and doable, are largely painless, and can be undertaken by patients without any fear. And you know why this is important? Because it challenges the stigma. There are abundance of shame and stigma that surrounds almost any irregularity concerning the male sexual organ. And this is damaging and highly dangerous for everyone involved. So we challenge the silence and provide a safe space for the patients to speak their truths. And it also, the better, more we know, the better we do. So in most cases, Peyronie disease is undiagnosed and often not caught until it's too late. So proper knowledge about the early symptoms and causes of the condition gives patients a fighting chance before disease marks some irreversible changes to the body. And it is also with the availability of internet, and there's a persistent ignorance about some of the most important issues, including this one. Men in particular have historically refrained from opening up about penile issues to their peers. So October 11, today, marks the days on which we encourage men to educate themselves about the tricky disease. So with this, we end yesterday's commemorations, and today we have Day of Respect for Cultural Diversity, and basically from Argentina. So this holiday revisits the day Christopher Columbus arrived in Americas and sparks a conversation surrounding diversity and the importance of indigenous communities. It was first observed in 1914 and born as Feast of the Race, but later on changed names to feature autochthonous groups in the forefront. Originally intended to commemorate the Hispanic influence on the Americans, the day was, has since expanded to include all cultures. So Columbus initially set foot in the Americas on October 12, 1492, while attempting to find a sea route to India. So he arrived at San Salvador Island in the Bahamas. His transatlantic voyages sparked European exploration and colonization of many territories. Since still he was not the first European explorer to access the Americas, with undisputed evidence of Norsemen reaching the North America mainland centuries before. Argentina observed the day for the first time in 1917, whereas Chile did in 1922, Colombia and Venezuela in 1921, and Mexico in 1928. Although the very first instance of this day has been traced back to 1940, when Spanish minister Faustino Rodriguez San Pedro created the Feast of the Race. Nowadays, this idea is seen as misguided and disrespectful towards indigenous communities, which is what inspired the name change. Thus, the Day of Respect for Cultural Diversity lives on. So, what were Americans called before they became Americans? Anyone can guess? Can put in chat box. The oldest name is Abya Yala, which means land in its full maturity or land of vital blood. So Americans were not initially called as Americans. They were called Abya Yala. That is land of full maturity or land of meaning is land of blood, vital blood. And Argentina is very rich in culture. They have more than 300 languages and indigenous ones, and it has pink dolphins, Amazon, Amazon rainforest, and beautiful salmon like natural hue, and iconic Panama Canal located in Central America. And Latin America is also one of the world's most urbanized regions, with over 80% of its population living in cities. And 20% of the world's oxygen is also produced by Amazon forest. So this day is all about culture. Culture brings color, sound, tradition, and fun to our lives. By learning what about other people's traditions and the ways of living, we can learn a lot more about ourselves as well. And the cultural richness of Latin America and its indigenous population are honored. The exact same time in many countries, it is one of the biggest commemorations the world sees throughout the year. And we have National Savings Day today, and National Free Thought Day, National Fossil Day, and National Bring Your Teddy to School Day, and National Curves Day, and National International Top Spinning Day, Emergency Nurses Day. There are many. I can read around 50 or 100, but we are just handpicking some. Today is also Pet Obesity Day and Farmers Day, all in US context, not in, most of them are in US context. And apart from that, we have Stop Bullying Day and a National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. And National Vermont Day and World Arthritis Day. So there are many, but due to paucity of time, we will quickly look at each one of it very quickly. So let's look at National Savings Day, US. So our relationship with money is so important because it affects almost every decision we make. So National Savings Day gives us the time to think about savings and spending habits and what we can do to improve if we are not saving quite enough. So savings doesn't have to be painful. There are lots of easier ways to save in order to bring your dreams within reach. So overcome your fear and check your credit report. Prepare for the best relationship of your life. Sign up for free debt counseling. Attend free art and cultural events that allow you to work as an usher in exchange for seeing the show. Now the time is to be creative while you're saving your bucks. So save loose change. Update your piggy bank concept by putting whatever spare change you have into a jar and watch how it grows. and use envelopes. Put cash for certain day expenses inside an envelope so that you know exactly how much money you have left to spend for the day. Participate in an employer match program if you're lucky enough to work a company with a 401k, and pay your bills with auto pay so that you avoid the pain of pulling the money directly off your pocket, and to avoid late fee charges or additional charges. And unsubscribe from shopping emails. You know, they will be always persuading to buy something. So unsubscribe from any such mails or SMS or calls. Avoid the financial hustles associated with too much of shopping by simply unsubscribing from your favorite stores emails. And saving is a habit. You need to cultivate positive habits, and saving stretches your budgets. So habit of regularly making a budget and sticking to it, saving will be your best friend, and a better control over your life, and additional benefits of lowering your stress level and increasing your joy. And savings also help you to prepare for emergencies. It pays to be ready with life is stable. And then we have National Free Thought Day. And it's a day for us to celebrate and raise awareness about something as basic as independent thinking. Every free and democratic citizen must be allowed to enjoy freedom of political, educational, scientific thinking. Yet, human has always been cynical about the unique or independent thinkers. Famous persons such as Einstein, Newton, Da Vinci, Galileo, Jesus, uh, and many others were ostracized, penalized, and even executed because of majority did not argue or agree with their thinking. So this day cultivates an environment of understanding and freedom. And today is National Fossil Day. Fossils aren't just interesting and fun to look at, but they also are the proof of existence. Once living things like dinosaurs, animals, plants, and even DNA remnants. Through these fossils, we were able to learn a lot about life from billions of years ago. We can even take a look at the animals and life forms that are no longer on planet. These fossils and the education around them observed to be preserved and explored. That's why uh, this day shows some appreciation for these incredible time capsules and paleontologists who excavate them. And today is also National Bring Your Teddy Bear to School Day, US. And whenever we think of teddy bears, we think of our nighttime buddy, and that one brings us peace and comfort. But whether you are a child, a teen, or even adult, you'll find that teddy bears just bring the warmth and happiness anyone should feel. So they come in all shapes and sizes and just do the trick delight anyone's day. Can encourage and uplift those around you. You can get to remind people that everyone desires to be comforted. And today is also National Curves Day. This is also one of the important day, which is related to Obese Day also today. So National Curves Day honors plus size women and men around the country. Now, these are fluffy, healthy men and women. And there's something for everyone in terms of fashion, beauty, wellness, fitness, networking, and branding. Top designers, famous models, bloggers, editors, media insiders, and influencers worldwide are among the guests. And the party is chance to flaunt your curves while also boosting your confidence. Embrace the day and use your curves with confidence, no matter your style, and look for the patterns that fit you. So don't, this is the day perfect for you if you are fat or obese. You can always use your curves with your confidence, no matter what your size, shape, style, and look for the patterns that fit you and enjoy. And today is International Top Spinning Day. We know this famous, game, especially in rural areas. It is very famous, and now it is an international sport also. And it's a delight today for the lovers of spinning tops around the world. And this was initiated by a museum in Burlington, Wisconsin. So a spinning top is a toy with a squat body and a sharp bottom that is designed to be spun on its vertical axis. So this day is all about the toy. The day is celebrated by all lovers of spinning tops around the world who on this day joyfully participate and enjoy spinning tops in quirky and unusual environments around them. Tops can come in different shapes, sizes, and colors, but they all have the characteristic of being able to defy gravity in exactly the same way as explained by the gyroscopic effect that uses inertia, gravity, momentum, and centrifugal force. And today is also Emergency Nurses Day. Nursing as a profession requires a great deal of compassion and expertise, and nurses working in hospital emergency wards have to deal with numerous difficulties all through their working hours. A special focus is placed on Emergency Nurses Day, the wider celebration of Emergency Nurses Week, to express gratitude and to show support for emergency nurses who provide invaluable care and assistance to those in need. And we have Farmers Day today in US. The profession of farming began around thousands of years ago with the domestication of livestock as hunter-gatherers settled down and started to plant their own food. In short, farming is one of the oldest jobs around. So let's take a moment to give them love to all the farmers who work tirelessly to feed us year around. And agriculture is one of the world's oldest and vital professions, and farmers have remained one of the highest contributors to economic growth while consistently feeding the people who rely on their goods. Personally referred as Old Farmers Day, National Farmers Day was cultivated to celebrate the hard work farmers put in growing their crops. Additionally, every 3 years, the harvest moon will fall in early October, preceding and leading up to National Farmers Day on the 12th. Today is also National Pet Obesity Day. So pets come in all shapes and sizes, but sometimes sizes get little bit out of hand. That's why we recognize today to remind people to keep their pets healthy. When your food starts getting a little plump, you know it's time for a few things: more walks, less table scraps, and perhaps even an additional visit to the vet to make they are still healthy. And while a Total rover can be a cute or funny sight. That extra layer of loving can have some serious consequences. So while humans have domesticated animals for hundreds of years, only the most recently have we seen such an exponential increase of plus size pets. While it's hard to say that no to these precious faces when it comes to food, it is also important to practice discipline for the safety and well being of our beloved companions. It starts with recognizing there is a problem. Pet owners think that their obese dog or cat is a normal weight, making confronting obesity difficult. So, no one wants to think their pet is overweight, and overcoming denial is our first battle. Currently, more than half of all domestic dogs and cats are clinically overweight, which is to say, their body condition score is above a 4, and that amounts to nearly 49 million dogs and more than 50 million cats who are a bit portlier than the peers. So, this can lead to serious health issues for these animals, including diabetes, arthritis, decreased life expectancy, high blood pressure, and cancer. So, not only will be hard for your pet, but it also will be. The good news is pet obesity can be easily prevented by taking a few cautionary steps. Thanks to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, APOP. And today is also National Stop Bullying Day, US, and school children, their teachers and their parents spend time learning about bullying and recognizing how they can be prevented. It calls on schools and organizations to bring together children, educators, and parents for the sake of preventing bullying situations. And bullying can come in many forms, and the victims can feel helpless or unsure. So it calls on schools and organizations to bring together children, educators, and parents for the sake of preventing bullying situations. Bullying can come in many forms, and victims can feel helpless or unsafe or unsure of how to stop the situation. While bystander intervention is an effective way to stop bullying in real time, understanding how it can be prevented can be more important. In addition to legislation, organizations and foundations to prevent and eradicate bullying have significantly helped combat the issue. Today is also National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. Its purpose for parents to have an enjoyable and memorable moment talking to and learning about their things their children eat in school. Parents and school administrators collaborate to help to come out with a system that provides the healthiest lunch